Hello, this is Jessica Brooks with the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets and the New York State Grown and Certified program. The program was launched by Governor Cuomo in August of 2016 to provide a meaningful branding program to promote New York State's agricultural products. So it is the first of its kind across the country to require both a higher level of food safety and an environmental stewardship component. So the way that one qualifies for this program is that you must grow or produce in New York State. So the food safety guidelines is a little different for every single commodity. When the program started, it was with produce, and the food safety requirement for produce was the GAP certification, which is good agricultural practices, and it is reimbursable by New York State. And in fact, in the next slide, we'll go into a little bit more of some of the food safety requirements for each of the commodities. And then across the board, except for a couple exceptions of honey and seafood, every participant in the program does participate in what is called the Agricultural Environmental Management Program that is run through your local county soil and water office. So the eligible commodities in the program, and my fonts are different sizes here. I apologize for that. They're no way representative of which ones we prioritize. So the advantages of joining the program for producers are that, well, first of all, the program is at no cost. You can join. It is a zero fee. We send you a farm sign, a roll of stickers, and some other promotional materials that just help you tell your story of being New York State Grown and Certified. We also, when you join the program, we send you an email with the digital art files of the logo, so you can incorporate those into your packaging, but also on your website or Facebook. I mean, if you go to New York State Grown and Certified, to our Facebook page, you can see how different businesses are using the seal. You are not in any way required to put the seal on your packaging. Periodically, we do have grant for marketing materials. So the first 2 rounds of our grant really was to try to get the seal out on products and in front of consumers as much as possible. So there were Apple companies that actually added it to their PLU. There were, lots of packaging changes across all commodities to include the seal. And a lot of those companies had been putting some sort of New York State identification on there, but now that there is this, bold new program, decided to put something that the consumer could really see and understand what it meant. We do have a website search feature that allows a consumer, and that consumer can be, farm to school managers, it can be retailers, and we get a lot of retailers actually looking to our website to source certain things that maybe they're out of at that point in time. The Farm to School Buyer's Guide is a terrific resource that is being built right now that will go out to all of the schools and food service directors at schools that let the schools know which products would be eligible for their 30% reimbursement program. And New York State Grown and Certified products actually get kind of an easier path into that, because those producers do not have to submit the formulation statements that non-New York State Grown and Certified producers do. And so it simplifies things a lot. You essentially just show them your certificate, and you can do that once a year, and that's often all that it takes. So we've done some great work with different retail chains, and of course our Taste New York stores, having more point of sale signage in stores. Tops in Western New York did a terrific program last summer and really, you know, they had radio promotions and corn boil events and everything just to kind of celebrate New York State grown and certified farms. Hannaford does a great job of putting the seal out in front of the consumer. ShopRite has done a great job on in their dairy section. But really and truly, it's the most effective way to get the seal in front of the consumer is for the individual producer to make sure it's visible. And so this is the New York State Grown and Certified website. It is certified.ny.gov. And this is the part that I just really wanted to run you through, is you should be able to find every application that you would want right here. And we're going to pop into, let's go look at Maple, since it's such a popular one. So as you can see, these are incredibly short applications. We're just going to scroll right through. Basically, it's 2 pages of an application and then a trademark licensing agreement, which essentially says that you will use the seal on only products that are in the New York State Grown and Certified program, which is simple enough. If we go back to the application, there's essentially, for the program requirements, there's a little bit of a summary of what it is that, you know, would allow a maple producer to join the program. And it talks there about the environmental stewardship component, which is really, you have a couple different options here, but the one that most people will go with, and the one that is consistent with the other categories for our applications, would be the Agricultural Environmental Management Program. So again, just going through this a little bit more slowly, it is really just the name of the farm, and this is identical to all the applications. How many acres? It's a metric we track. We like to know how many acres in New York are being supported by this program. And then this is a super little helpful section here, which is your required supporting documentation. These checkboxes are here for a reason. Please make sure that you have everything listed before you send in your application. But we can also just take a quick peek at processed products, because this is a little bit different. You know, the food safety component for processed products happens at the processor. So if you are a farm that is growing vegetables that are going to be going to a processor, who then will be heating them or fermenting them or doing something on their end to make sure that the food safety component is in place. You do not yourself have to be GAP certified, which is the regular requirement for produce farms selling their produce direct to consumers raw. So you would fill out the application line, which is the processed product ingredient producer. So that if you are a processor, and you will need an Article 20C license, which pretty much any food processor in the state is required to have. So that's fairly simple. Certain products require a HACCP requirement. So you can see that every application details out what the requirements are, and gives you a little bit more information about it. So I just wanted to do the processed ones, because then it will ask you questions about who you are sourcing from. And that is where you need to make sure that those farms that you're sourcing from are in the Grown and Certified program. So there's several layers as a processor, and this is the same as well for food and beverage manufacturer, for the craft beverage manufacturers, that they have to be sourcing a certain amount from Grown and Certified farms. But I think that's about it. You can really find everything that you need right there. It talks a little bit more about the AEM program right here, and you can schedule an assessment through Soil and Water. But you can also always reach out to me at Ag and Markets, or any one in the Grown and Certified team, and we can connect you directly with Soil and Water as well. And this is my contact information, and I would be happy to receive phone calls or emails with any questions about the program and what the requirements are.